Penn State is an utter mess. There is no way around it. And they have nobody to blame but themselves. They're the ones that fired a head football coach in James Franklin that was in the Final Four of the college football playoffs just 1 year ago. I'm Dylan Hildreth. This is the Dylan Hildreth Show. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any football or racing. And yeah, this is a mess. There's no way around this. Now, I said it in the original video when Penn State fired their coach, and not in exact terms, but I actually found a good a better way to describe it. That this was going to go either the Michigan way or the Georgia way. Both schools had a great coach in Lloyd Carr and Mark Richt, both averaging roughly 10 wins a season. Lloyd Carr was a little bit less than that towards the tail end of his days, but still, great coach nonetheless. And they pushed out Lloyd Carr. They hired Rich Rodriguez, and the program went to crap for the next 15 years. They were not relevant again until the 2021 season. It was a mess for 15 seasons. Now, it could have also went the other way, where Georgia fires Mark Richt. They are able to hire Kirby Smart, and Kirby Smart takes them to a whole nother level of greatness. And it's not just 10 wins anymore and an appearance in the SEC championship game every so often. It is a yearly tradition now for Georgia to be in that SEC title game competing for the championship. And he's won 2 national championships. This could have gone one of two ways, the Michigan way or the Georgia way. And seeing as signing day was yesterday, it is going even worse than the Michigan way. This is an utter mess and a half. This is a dumpster that is on fire, and it is floating down a river that used to be a street. I mean, my goodness. And I feel absolutely horrible for the Penn State fans because they absolutely do not deserve this. They are annoying, but they don't deserve this. And I mean annoying in a very loving way. So get off my butt. But anyway, let's get to some articles from Outkick, shall we? David Hookstead of Outkick. Penn State faces unimaginable humiliation as the program thinks lower. Penn State is still searching for a new coach after firing James Franklin. Penn State's football program appears to be on the brink of absolute disaster. Oh, we're past that brink. We are past that brink. The Nittany Lions fired James Franklin after the 6th game of the season following the loss to Northwestern, which, in all honesty, Northwestern, they weren't a bad team this year. They weren't that bad. That was back in October 11th, and it is now December 3rd. And the team still does not have a new head coach as of signing day for new recruits. That's not great. And the lack of a leader has set the program up for humiliation today. Penn State's recruiting class is comically low. Yeah, I looked at the recruiting rankings. It is not good. It's nearly impossible to recruit without a head coach, and with a vacancy for nearly 2 months, the Nittany Lions are going to feel some serious pain and embarrassment on signing day. Just how bad? FCS Idaho is currently ahead of Penn State in the On3 recruiting rankings as of publication. So let's take a look at the 24/7 recruiting. Yeah, we're at 50. You have Cal at 50. Michigan State, who just had some turnover at head coach. Boston College, they went like 1-11. Uh, Northwestern, which is a very difficult school to get into. Um, Kentucky, who just went through a coaching change. Bowling Green and Toledo. You have UCLA. We have Wisconsin, Troy, South Florida, who just had a coaching change. Virginia, which Jesus, that might be a video in among itself. Miami of Ohio, Kent State, one of the worst teams in the MAC. You have Ohio, Western Michigan, Nebraska at 109. That's a whole nother video to be done. You have UMass. Yeah, they're still a Division I program, I'm told. I think. Idaho. The Idaho Vandals. Hawaii. The Louisiana Raging Cajuns. Northern Arizona. I am now learning that they actually have a football team. That is interesting. Oregon State. UC Davis. Cal Poly, which I am now currently learning that they have a football team. Harvard. Louisiana Monroe. Sam Houston, Air Force. Eastern Washington. Akron, the worst team in the Big Ten, in the MAC. Montana State. Montana. You have two schools in Montana that are higher than Penn State right now. Columbia, North Dakota State, McNeese. Point that out on the map, please. I don't know where that is. West Georgia, not Georgia State, not Georgia Tech. West Georgia. Whatever that school is. What's the mascot for that? I don't know. And then Penn State. Just above Townsend, who I am currently aware that they have a football team. You have Penn State at 149th. And to put that in perspective, there's like 136 Division I programs. South Dakota State is FCS. McNeese, I think, is FCS. North Dakota State is FCS. Army. Columbia is, I think, Ivy. Montana and Montana State. Those are FCS. I mean, this is beyond funny. Like Nebraska being 109th. That's funny. That is funny. But 149th that's beyond that is like we have crossed into the border of sadness. Like it ain't funny, it's sad. It is sad. So yeah, they have dropped since this article came out. The 5 teams directly behind Penn State in the rankings, well, they got passed. UConn, Ball State, Akron, Sam Houston State. Wasn't aware that Sam Houston was a state, but okay. Mid-Tennessee State. The 5 teams directly ahead. Southern Miss, Air Force, Army, Navy, and Idaho. Imagine telling someone in August that Penn State would have a worse recruiting class than all 3 service academies on signing day. And I mean, Army, Navy, Air Force, they're not attracting any four-star recruits. And the last couple of classes from James Franklin's 13th, 15th, 14th, 17th, or 7th, 18th, 14th. Yeah. I mean, this is a mess and a half. Oh my god. Like, and then we have an updated article from just a few hours ago as I'm recording this. Penn State just nuked their own program for nothing. This one from Ian Miller of the great Outkick.com. Wednesday is National Signing Day, the first opportunity for programs to cement their recruiting class to help build up the roster for 2026 and beyond. While the transfer portal has to some extent reduced the importance of high school recruiting, which, in my opinion, it has not. High school recruiting is still the be all end all. Florida State is a shining example of that because they have lived and died by the portal, and oh my god, have they been? They are dying frequently and often. But as usual, the top of the 2026 recruiting rankings are the who's who of big programs: USC, Notre Dame, Oregon, Georgia, Bama, all them guys. And one of the perennial top teams in recent years when it comes to pulling up big names and recruits is Penn State. Micah Parsons, Saquon Barkley, Miles Sanders. Penn State had the number 6 class in 2022. Their 2018 recruiting class was number 4 in ESPN's rankings, the highest in program history. 2019 class had the highest average star ranking of any Penn State group in this century. What did all those classes have in common? Head coach James Franklin. The same James Franklin who Penn State fired after a disappointing mid-season stretch and was prominently hired in season by the Virginia Tech Hokies. The same James Franklin who Penn State replaced with, well, as of Wednesday, has absolutely nobody. Not a soul. You gather up everybody on the planet into one space and say, who's the head coach of the Penn State Nittany Lions football program? And not a soul is going to raise their hand. Phone is. Anyway, so I mean, we've already went over who they're behind. I mean, and they've tried going after Kalani Sitake, BYU's head coach. They went after Kurt Singeti. That came up nothing. Rumblings about Lincoln Riley, which that obviously was never going to happen. I mean, where would you rather be? Hot, sunny, warm Los Angeles or Penn State? Small one-horse town, and I am probably the I I'm a small town guy. I like the small towns. Don't get me wrong, but when it comes to recruiting, I want to be in LA. They tried Jeff Brom, and Jeff Brom just recently signed an extension. And yeah, that has come up absolutely nothing. Well, Penn State has completely flipped Virginia Tech's recruiting class to the point where the Hokies are now the 24th overall. And in a nutshell, is how you set your program back years unnecessarily, which is absolutely correct. And then it just kind of goes on. Oh, James Franklin. Now, as I said in the original video where we talked about James Franklin originally being fired, if you're going to fire a coach like James Franklin, who's averaging 10 wins a year, you better be damn sure you got somebody waiting in the wings. You better have somebody on deck that you know is going to say yes. And and be able to continue this program, running this program without a hitch. Well, congratulations, Penn State. You are now the new Nebraska. You are going to be the ones that the parents are going to be talking about. Oh, those Penn State teams, they were so good. But of course, the kids are not going to know because they weren't born yet, or they were just babies without any feasible recollection of it. And the fallout of this, Ohio State no longer has a recruiting rival to the east. Now they're being attacked from the west on Indiana, the Indiana front. Albeit Indiana's never going to recruit to the Ohio State levels. But they have real competition to the west. Michigan's going to be able to go into Penn State and get people, or go into Pennsylvania and get people. Obviously, Ohio State's been able to do that, no problem anyway. You have the in-state rival, Pitt. They are going to benefit greatly from this. Because all those kids who grew up in Pennsylvania wanting to be a Nittany Lion, well, you know what they love more than putting on a Penn State jersey? Winning. So, and Pat Narduzzi, he's a great coach. Said a stupid thing a few weeks ago, but he's a great coach. So they're going to Pitt if they want to stay in state. They ain't going to Penn State, especially those top recruits in the state. So, I mean, it is an absolute mess, and they are going to be struggling. And at this point, they're not going to hire a good enough coach to save this ship, unless like an Urban Meyer or Nick Saban says, you know what, I feel like coaching again. Let's go to Penn State, which isn't going to happen. Penn State is screwed. There's no way around it. They're going to fall into the pits of despair, never to be heard or seen from again in this lifetime. It was a solid run for Penn State, but it's their own stupidity that put them in this position. And in today's college football, you cannot afford to have a recruiting class that has two people on signing day, especially when your arch rival is Ohio State, when your arch rival is Michigan, when it's USC, when it's Oregon. You cannot afford to do that. And Penn State, their time of relevancy is over. And by the time we get to 2027, 2028, Penn State's going to be fighting to stay off the Big Ten Network. If the Big Ten Network is even a thing by then, which it probably will be. But, I mean, Penn State fans, they're going to have to get Peacock. They're going to have to get Paramount Plus in order to watch them. Because Penn State's not going to be making the cut to be on CBS. They're not going to be making the cut to be on NBC. So, that is the unfortunate reality that Penn State has nobody to blame but themselves. They screwed the pooch on this, and they're going to be paying dearly for years. I'm Dylan Hildreth. This is the Dylan Hildreth Show. See you in the next one.